Okay, very often students or people ask me, how do you improve? And I tell them, you go back to the basics. You go back to a few things. Um, First is the major scale. The major scale is the most important scale that you will ever encounter in your lifetime, because every other music that you hear on the radio, on TV, on theaters, on movies, whatever, all music encompass a certain kind of like format. Okay, in this case, this format is the major scales. Every song that you hear is derived from the major scale. Whether is it just the scale itself, or whether is it the progression, the group of chords that come together. So enough said about major scale. It is important. Of course, the next thing that is equally important is the sense of rhythm. Now, I will cover this in another video. So today, I will just take the major scale study on a very basic level. We will look at what makes up the major scale, how do you derive it, and how do you incorporate it in your playing. Okay. Now, major scale is something that you can derive mathematically. And how do we derive that? We use intervals. Okay. Now, these intervals can be described as a whole step or a half step. Okay, you follow so far? So it's like a piano. Okay, if you look at a piano, just imagine you're looking at it and it has all the white keys. Okay, now separating the white keys are small black keys in between. Okay, now the distance between the white key to the black key is called a half step. Okay, because it just takes half a step for the white key to travel to the black key. Now, if you look closely, from C to D, for example, on the piano, it takes one whole step. Okay, so in other words, I can say that it takes one whole step to travel from C to D. So that's called one step. Okay, and from C to C sharp is half a step. Now, in music, of course, there are two places where in a major scale, two half steps occur. Okay, now the first one is from E to F. If you look at a piano again, you look at a white key E and you look at a white key F. There's no black key in between. Okay, so this is called a half step. Okay, not a whole step. And the other place that occurs is from the key of B to the key of C. That is the other half step. Okay, so using the piano as a kind of like a visual reference, we can safely say that the C major scale is made up of the intervals whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half steps. Okay, I say again, the C major scale is made up of this interval whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half steps. Okay, I don't want to say that again because I sound like Santa Claus, but the point is this: you can take this formula, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, and apply it onto a different key. Okay, so how does it look like on the guitar? So let me just show you. Let's use the E as an example. Okay, shall we use C? Okay, I tell you, we use C so that you can see it. Pun not intended, but you can literally see it. So let's say in the key of C, this is the root note. Okay, I'm pressing it. I've said that the major scale is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half steps. So this is a half step. It's not what I want. This is a whole step. Okay, another whole step. Now from here, half step. Okay, whole, 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 half. Correct? You follow me? So this is so. That's how you get your major scale. Okay. Now, of course, nobody plays the major scale up here, down here on one string. You can. I mean, you can do it. You can do it, but it's not practical sometimes. It looks flashy, it's nice, but hard to control. The other way is to play it across the fretboard. I have showed you before in my little booklet that I wrote that you have set patterns that you can play across the fretboard here in this section, okay? And you can also play it across this section. So let's look at here. We'll focus on here, and hopefully we can apply it into your playing, okay? Now, this is the C chord, and if I play the major scale, I can play it like this. Whole step, half step, whole, half. Okay, you need to remember the notes, at least on the fretboard, because the way to navigate around is to understand what are those notes. If I look at a piano, I have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So the next thing is to be able to recognize C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C down here. And how do I do that? I use my, your tuning strings, your open strings as a reference. If this is E, okay, you remember that half a step is F, right? And the whole step is G. If this is A whole step will B, and from B to C is a half step, right? And so on and so forth. So that's how you kind of like navigate around. One of the simple tricks is that when I hit an E, I know that the next note that I want, if it's an F, it should be a half step. Okay? That's my phone call. So, going by that, what I want you to do is I want you to practice all your major scales. You don't have to go ascending or descending, but just figure your way around the C chord. Okay, and that would allow you to have a lot of flexibility in playing songs like melody, like just now. As long as you know where your major scale are, and if you hit them over the chords, it will sound safe and good. Okay, so this is the kind of like the first part. We're just scratching the surface of the major scale, and I hope that you can use this and apply it in your practice and playing. So practice your major scale. Peace.